This is the Key TV Nightly News, which is also on Key Radio 103.3 FM, and I'm Jacqueline Coley. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. A new independent evaluation report launched Friday by the Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance and the Center for Research and Policy Development highlights that the Gambia Immigration Department is demonstrating tangible progress following years of targeted reform. The National Environment Agency, in partnership with the Gambia Police Force and other stakeholders, launched a nationwide campaign to enforce the ban on single-use plastic bags. The newly graduated cohort of police constables have begun their practical attachments at key police stations nationwide, with the West Coast Region Police Command hosting a significant number of them. In international news, following Thursday's vote, the United States once again vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution calling for an immediate, unconditional and permanent ceasefire in Gaza Strip. In sports news, Sukuta Upper Basic School were crowned champions in the upper basic category of the QCell-sponsored Gambia Secondary School Sports Championship, defeating Jiboro Upper Basic School in a closely contested match at Jarasoma Mini Stadium. Those were headlines and other news in detail. Do stay. Many thanks for joining us. Now, a new independent evaluation report launched Friday by the Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance and the Center for Research and Policy Development highlights that the Gambia Immigration Department is demonstrating tangible progress following years of targeted reform. The review identifies major strides in professionalism, gender equality, and public trust. However, it also highlights areas for improvement. Duldenjai reports.
2024 nationwide population survey shows that 57% of Gambians rate GID's effectiveness as excellent or good. That is a 12-point increase from 2023 and 17 points higher than in 2019. Only 11% now consider the department's performance poor. Transparency and fairness have also improved, but the most striking shift is in gender inclusion. Female leadership has increased fivefold from just 4% in 2019 to 21% in 2024. Huley Jallow, Deputy Director General of GID, says the achievements are not just milestones for the GID. They represent progress for the entire security sector and the Gambia broader democratic agenda.
As we reflect on these successes, we must also acknowledge that migration management is a dynamic and complex challenge. It demands continuous adaptation, interagency cooperation, and a firm commitment to human rights and the rule of law.
Mark Lynch, head of office DCAF, shares that the project has been personally rewarding, especially during regional field visits and collaboration with core GID team.
The initial focus of the project was on much-needed legal reform through the development of the Gambia Immigration Bill and its subsequent merger with the Smuggling of Migrants Bill. I'm happy to report that the Gambia Immigration Bill is now under review at Cabinet, and we hope it will imminently be forwarded to the National Assembly for consideration of enactment.
But challenges remain. The survey shows that 26% of citizens identify theft and armed robbery as the top security issue in border communities. Another 15% pointed on trafficking of drugs, weapons, or people. At the same time, public understanding of ongoing reforms is still limited. Only 16.3% of Gambians say they know anything about security sector reform.
There are really three things that seem to come to mind from this Gambian experience, and I'd just like to mention them briefly. The first is that reform is inherently very political. We have a tendency of thinking that it's a technical expertise. You'll see there's a lot of technical aspects to it, the drafting of SOPs, the training, very specific training within the institutions. But in the end, it really depends on political will and support. It depends on the legal framework being moved forward. It depends on a real commitment by the political class.
Abraham K. Mendy is the Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior.
The evaluation rightly highlights the need for continued investment in legislative reforms, stronger oversight mechanism.
Still, evaluators say more can be done. They recommend expanding mentorship and training programs, especially those supporting women in leadership. For QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
The National Environment Agency, NEA, in partnership with the Gambia Police Force and other organizations, including local councils, launched a nationwide campaign on Monday to enforce the ban on single-use plastic bags. Loliam Camara spoke with officials from the NEA and GPF and filed this report.
The national ban on plastic bags came into effect on July 1, 2015, prohibiting the manufacture, importation, sale, and use of single-use plastic carrier bags. Despite this ban, plastic bags can be seen in shops, markets, and being used by street vendors. With a renewed focus on policy and enforcement for 2024-2025, the government, in collaboration with partners such as International Environmental Organization, Common Seas, and various international NGOs, in April 2024, adopted a national action plan to end plastic pollution. Analysis outlined in the national plan estimate that approximately 23,000 tons of plastic waste were generated in the Gambia in 2021, with about 27% of this waste leaking into aquatic environments. Without intervention, plastic waste is projected to increase by 42% by 2033. Hassan Dukure, the program manager for environmental quality at the National Environment Agency, who oversees waste management and environmental monitoring, provided insights on the nationwide enforcement.
It's important that we come up together and then do a kind of a nationwide activity, of which not only do we have to enforce, but part of it is to conscientize the community that plastic is still banned in the Gambia, and littering also is an illegal activity as far as the laws of the Gambia are concerned.
According to Mr. Dukure, the 2015 ban on single-use plastic bags has not been sufficient in terms of enforcement, considering the available resources put in and economic conditions.
So there need to be a law to be able to back the enforcement. So subsequently, a law was made. Unfortunately, the fact that it was a pronounced, executive pronouncement of banning it, that is what is more engraved in the minds of the people.
Mr. Dukure further states that a challenge in addressing this issue is that many people believe a change in government means a change in the law as well.
So initially there was a lot of cooperation, if you will agree with me. But up to the born of the new era, people tend to feel like, okay, Mr. X law goes with him. You understand? And that becomes a problem as far as people perception and people understanding is concerned. This is what we are trying to work against now, to be able to conscientize people.
The National Environment Agency is partnering with the Gambia Police Force in this exercise. Inspector Mariama I. Fati of the Gambia Police Force Press Department explained their role in the enforcement exercise.
We are actually joining. We are not actually using force. To effect change is a gradual process. So therefore, we are working through the minds of individuals to explain the hazard that are attached, and that's all. But failure of which, then the law will take its own course.
The National Environment Agency will continue efforts to raise awareness, enforce laws, conduct inspections, and prosecute offences under environmental law. For QTV News, Loliam Camara.
The newly graduated police constables have commenced their practical attachments across key police stations in the country, with the West Coast Region Police Command hosting a significant number. Aissatou Bari tells us more.
Deployed officers, part of the largest graduating class from the Police Academy in August, are now moving from classroom training to hands-on policing. Guided by senior officers, the recruits are gaining practical experience in crime prevention, public safety, traffic management, charge office operations, and community engagement. The field attachment is intended to complement the recruits' formal training by immersing them in real-world challenges and preparing them with the confidence to manage diverse situations. Speaking on the exercise, here is the Commissioner of Police for West Coast Region, DPC Fode Balajo.
in order to build foundation. Fundamentally, this is one of the key processes that they should undergo. Induction will help you to know the overview of real policy.
DSP Pamusa Sanyang, station officer at the Banjolunding Police Station, outlined some of the training procedures the new recruits are undergoing.
When we receive them, we engage them on disciplinary patrols, and of course, after the patrol from morning to the evening, we get back to the station where we can also engage them on office proceedings, that is charge office proceedings, how to write statement, how to obtain statement, how to listen the complaints, and how to obtain also the statement from the complainant, and also how to enter registration in the diary.
The new recruits also highlighted the various areas of policing in which they have been trained.
They took us through charge office procedures, like taking statement, building a case file, writing a voluntary statement, cautionary statement, and etc. We also go on foot patrols for 4 hours, both in the morning and the evening. We also make sure that the rights of the detainees are observed. We make sure anything they need that the law allows, we make sure we give it to them.
Teach us how to communicate with drivers politely and how to do signalings on the traffic to ease the traffic congestions, and learn how to check either a driver is having a valid insurance for the car and license.
According to the Gambia Police Force, the initiative underscores its commitment to professional development and capacity building, aimed at equipping new officers with the skills and readiness to effectively serve and protect citizens nationwide. Aisa Tubari, QTV News.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have international, national, and sports news stories. Do stay tuned.
Gambia ñun ñooy network bi nga xam ne ñëpp ñun lañ óolu di continuer di leen indil internet service bu gaaw ànd ak kóolare si biir réew mi fii ak suñ 4G plus internet speed bi ñu ngi leen a ne gaaw na ànd ak kóolare saa su ne fu ne ak QCell dawal léegi nga ut QCell sim card foofu si suñ customer care centers yu nekk si réew mi nga jëfandikoo 4G internet plus bu gaaw bi si réew mi pour am si lu leer Call QCell customer care si 111 QCell suñu bos ñu xaali yoon bi ñeneen toppa.
Browse Bitus. QCell brings you a promo like never before. Get unlimited internet for just $25 C's. Yes! Recharge $25 C's and enjoy the convenience of free internet from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. every day with our Browse with Us promo. With this amazing offer, you can browse, stream, and download all your favorite movies for free. So why wait? Recharge $25 C's today and enjoy free internet only with QCell between 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. For more information, call customer care on 111. QCell, Senior Bus, we innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. Stakeholders in the Gambia's tourism and creative industries wrap up 2 days of discussion on key regulatory issues aiming to strengthen policies that enhance the competitiveness and sustainability of the creative economy. Alusise attended the opening ceremony and filed this report.
The event is organized by the International Trade Center as part of a broader EU-funded project on tourism and creative industries, which also covers intellectual property and investment promotion. It brings together representatives from government institutions and creative entrepreneurs, among others, to review existing regulations and identify gaps affecting the growth of the industry. Dauda Nyang, a tourism and creative industries consultant with the International Trade Center, Lumana Kamasi of the European Union, and Aissatou Drame, Deputy Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, respectively, say the creative sector holds high potential for job creation.
Yes, we want Gambian MSMEs to benefit from tourism and the creative industries. We want the economy to flourish, but we need to be mindful of those international treaties and conventions that the country is a signatory to.
This platform is fully consistent with the Gambia National Tourism Policy and Strategy 2130 and the National Development Plan, both of which underscore the imperative of fostering a transformed, competitive and sustainable tourism sector.
Let us use this opportunity to build strong partnership and share understanding necessary to create a more prosperous, resilient and authentic tourism and creative economy for the Gambia.
Hasim Sise, the director of the National Center for Arts and Culture, said there are high prospects for the sector as he shared his expectations of the discussions at this meeting.
Now, all the legal requirements are in place, for royalties, collection. Because the Copyright Act, for example, provides for the formation of the Cultural Society of the Gambia, which is like the collective management organization. Now that has been created. But what is left now is to operationalize, this body. And that has been a very, very, difficult, struggle for us. So we hope through this session today and tomorrow, and through the, project, that's the EU-funded Youth Empowerment Project, for the creative industries and tourism, Gambian, creators, artists will finally be able to benefit, from royalties, because it is a major revenue stream, for every artist.
With the creative industry gaining global recognition, participants are expected to devise a consensus policy that will lead to concrete reforms that unlock the sector's full potential. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliou Cisse.
Up next is International News Tuesday. The United States of America once again vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution demanding an immediate, unconditional and permanent ceasefire in the Gaza Strip, following a vote in the Security Council of the United Nations on Thursday. Usman Jatta reports from Beijing.
The United States cast a negative vote as the 15th Member Council held its 10,000th meeting against the backdrop of famine spreading in the besieged enclave and an ongoing Israeli offensive aimed at taking full control of Gaza City. The resolution also demanded the release of all hostages held by Hamas and for Israel to lift all restrictions on the entry of humanitarian aid, ensuring it is safely distributed to the population, particularly by UN agencies and partners. The U.S. is one of 5 permanent UN Security Council members with veto power. Speaking before the vote, U.S. Representative Morgan Ortagus stated that Washington's opposition to the resolution will come as no surprise, as it fails to condemn Hamas or recognize Israel's right to defend itself. The draft resolution was put forward by the Council's 10 non-permanent members, which include Algeria, Denmark, Sierra Leone, and Somalia. Reacting to the U.S. decision, Palestinian ambassador to the UN, Riyad Mansour, along with other members, including the UK and Pakistan, expressed regret at the U.S.'s position. Fresh tensions in a decades-old conflict erupted on 7 October 2023 after Hamas and other Palestinian militant groups attacked Israel, killing roughly 1,200 people and taking 250 hostages. This marks the 6th time since the U.S. has used its veto in nearly 2 years at the Security Council, blocking what is vital for the people of Gaza, most notably a ceasefire, which was one of the very first items listed in this draft resolution. More than 65,000 Palestinians have been killed since hostilities began, according to Gaza health authorities. Several groups, including the Arab League and the European Union, have held emergency meetings condemning the violence and renewing calls for a permanent ceasefire to end the suffering of the Palestinian people. The Security Council is one of the 6 main organs of the UN responsible for the maintenance of international peace and security, and it takes action through resolutions and decisions. The 5 permanent members, which include China, France, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States, have the right to veto any resolution. This privilege was granted to them due to their key roles in the establishment of the UN 80 years ago. as thousands of people, mainly women and children, continue to die from starvation and shelling. Many are asking, will the UN explore other means or will continue to wait for America's vote to end the suffering of the Palestinian people? Osman Jatta, QTV News, Beijing, China.
Up next is sports news. Sukuta Upper Basic School emerged champions of the QSOL-sponsored Gambia Secondary School Sports Championship Upper Basic category, defeating Jiboro Upper Basic School in a closely contested match at Jarasoma Mini Stadium, Lower River Region. Our regional correspondent Bakari Balde witnessed the game and he filed this report.
The game kicked off at high tempo with Jiboro Upper Basic School dominating first 10 minutes. Sukuta Upper Basic School gradually found their footing, creating a few chances. Jiboro continued to press in the midfield with attacking football, while Sukuta held a defensive line and struck on the counter-attack. In the 38th minute, Demba Nyang broke the deadlock for Sukuta. Followed by a brilliant finish from Bamba Keita in the 45th minute to double their lead. Despite Jiboro's early dominance, Sukuta's resolute defense stood firm and secured their victory. Jiboro Upper Basic School coach Francis Mendy shared his thoughts on the match.
Of course, I am so disappointed because, as you can see, the first half we could not capitalize on our chances. So the first one they had during the second half, they capitalized and scored. So it was a very heartbreaking moment. Thank the organizing committee. They have done well this time around. At least we have seen a very colorful ground. QCell came sponsored the tournament, so it's a very good thing. It's a very brilliant idea.
Lamin Samate, head coach of Sukuta Upper Basic School, said their victory was no surprise as the team had been preparing for the league for the past 6 months.
We started training since April, and when you look at our statistics from the qualifiers to here, this is our 23rd goal, and we concede only 3 throughout. So winning it's not a surprise for us. These people, they want to give us a problem in the first minute of the half so that we will not have peace. But we realize that they depend on their flank players who has a pace and they are physical. So we cannot give a direct instruction to our players all at once. So we decided to manage the game like that. When they came out for second half, then we were able to rectify all our mistakes and we capitalized on their loopholes to penetrate them through.
Sukuta Upper Basic School received gold medals and a large trophy as champions of the Gambia Secondary Schools UBS category, while Jiboro Upper Basic School were awarded silver medals. Bakari Balde, QTV News.
Also in sports news, Gambian League champions Julde Banjul arrive in Morocco on Thursday to play both their home and away fixture in the CAF Champions League preliminary rounds against AFFA Rabat in same venue. Mamadou Gajaga has more.
Real de Banjul will play their home match away against a team they should be hosting due to the unavailability of an approved stadium to host international matches in the Gambia. They are forced to play 2 matches against AFFA Rabat in 1 week, away at the same venue. Real de Banjul returned to Continental Club Championship for the first time in a decade, having won the Gambia's First Division League title 3 times in a row. They are 15th overall. The Gambian champions will play their first leg against ASFA on Saturday, the 21st of September 2025 at Stade Municipal de Kenit as a home fixture before facing the same opposition on the 27th of September 2025 at the same venue. Real de Banjul Football Club first participated in the CAF Champions League in 1975 and have since competed in the tournament 9 times, playing a total of 26 matches in double-leg encounters. Their best performance in the competition occurred in 1995 when they reached the second round. In the first round, they defeated CD Travadores of Cape Verde, but were eliminated by Mbilinga FC of Gabon in the second round, when the competition was called the African Cup of Champions. The club's best winning margin has been 1-0, which they achieved in matches against several teams. St. Joseph Warriors of Liberia in 1979, CD Travadores in 1995, FC Derby of Cape Verde in 2001, and Barak Young Controllers of Liberia in 2015. Real de Banjul also lost to Fust Rabat of Morocco in 2013 on aggregate, losing 1-0 away and winning 2-1 at home. Real de Banjul have qualified from the preliminary rounds of the CAF Champions League 3 out of 4 times. They were eliminated 7 times in the first round and once in the second round. This year, they will be hoping they can improve on their previous performances in this competition. It is unlikely to be easy, as they start against a team that has won this competition once before, when in 1985 they became the first Moroccan team to be crowned Club Champions of Africa. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
And before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. A new independent evaluation report launched Friday by the Geneva Center for Security Sector Governance and the Center for Research and Policy Development highlights that the Gambia Immigration Department is demonstrating tangible progress following years of targeted reform. The National Environment Agency, in partnership with the Gambia Police Force and other stakeholders, launched a nationwide campaign to enforce the ban on single-use plastic bags. The newly graduated cohort of police constables have begun their practical attachments at key police stations nationwide, with the West Coast Region Police Command hosting a significant number of them. In international news, following Thursday's vote, the United States once again vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution calling for an immediate, unconditional and permanent ceasefire in the Gaza Strip. In sports news, Sukuta Upper Basic School were crowned champions in the upper basic category of the QSOL-sponsored Gambia Secondary School Sports Championship, defeating Jibora Upper Basic School in a closely contested match at Jarasoma Mini Stadium. That's all for this news bulletin. Join us again tomorrow at 8 p.m. for the weekend review with Ade Darame and Momodun Boch, with Ibrahim Acham doing the sign language interpretation. Thanks for watching and bye.